Okay. All right. Just getting started here. All right. Welcome into the August 6th trading session. Definitely consolidated over the overnight session here. So if we're looking at the hourly chart, we turn on some of these indicators. Boom, boom. If we're looking at the hourly chart here, we can see that we've consolidated within this range throughout. It's about a 25, 30 point range throughout the entire overnight session. No movement off of that range. We still have a bunch of bullish imbalance down here that has yet to get filled. So we could see price want to see continued selling to the downside, maybe to where those previous all-time highs are at 7694.50. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But going into the session here, we are below our 200 EMA. We're below VWAP on our 5-minute chart. We're below our previous day point of control, and we're below the current point of control. So everything is leaning to the downside. We have our hourly lows resting right here at 7745.75. So we'll see if those want to get taken. Good morning, Wendy. How are you? Welcome in. Consolidated over the overnight session here. Definitely want to see this low get taken out, and I want to see price push a little bit further into these bullish imbalances right here. So that's what I'm looking for today. We are below our 200 EMA on the 5-minute chart here on ES. We're below previous day point of control, and we're below our current point of control. So just looking for potential plays to the downside heading into this morning. So we'll see what we get, but that is what I am seeing today. And we'll have to see. I mean, it was a pretty tight range that we were in, but if you can see here, every time we tested the 200 EMA, which is that yellow line, we did see resistance. So every time we came up close to it, we saw some resistance. Every time we came up close, saw some resistance. Tested it, saw resistance, tested it again, saw resistance, tested it again, saw resistance. So it's definitely acting as a heavy point of resistance right now. And also that previous day point of control was resting right up there as well, which acted as resistance. So we'll see what happens, but I'm expecting this hourly low at 7745.75 to get taken out and make a new hourly low, creating a new hourly bearish range. And once again, we have a lot of bullish imbalance left behind from that move on Tuesday that brought us into all-time highs. So we'll see what happens today, but that's what I'm looking at. NQ, similar situation. The previous day point of control is way up here. By the way, that trade I was in yesterday, it took all the way till literally 5 minutes before market close, and then it just ripped to the downside. So kind of crazy. I was in that since, what was that, 12:20, and then it didn't get the full take profit until legitimately the end of the day, which is insane, but we'll take it. NQ, previous day point of control, is it did not test it going, so we did not test that going into today, but we're below our 200 EMA, and we're showing resistance, and we're seeing a bit of a sell-off here. So NQ, same situation as ES. NQ has pulled back a lot more than ES. So looking at this here, we can see that this was the Tuesday's session. We had that nice move up. NQ has close, it's pretty much filled that entire bullish imbalance from that Tuesday push up into all-time highs. So versus ES has not quite done that yet, and not even close, honestly. ES has barely filled any of it, so bit of a divergence between the two right now. Okay. I wonder if ES is going to catch up with NQ today, or if this is just going to rip to the upside. Not quite sure, but we'll have to see. That YM trade did not. Holy smokes. All right, market just opened up. We'll see what we get. It's going straight for those hourly lows down there at, where's that at? 7745.75. We have YM, same situation. And 20. Oops. See. Okay, where are we at? Hello. There goes those hourly lows. 7745.75 just got taken out. had this gap marked out on YM. So this gap marked out on YM because this was the gap that broke through our 200 EMA. Just had this huge sweeping candle up into there and then sold off, which is crazy, but whatever. Let's see where we're at on ES. We'll see what happens if we come up and test our 200 EMA here on ES. What's up, Preston? Morning. Welcome in. Just got my alert on GC. So we're testing this gap right here that broke through our 200 EMA on GC here. We'll see what happens with that. We'll see if it wants to break above it, which would be interesting. Where are we at with NQ here? Seeing early bullish momentum. Dang, it's gonna clear that entire gap. That would be crazy. What's that risk? That's a huge amount of risk though. Rejecting on ES here. At the VWAP, rejecting it. Where's our previous point of control on gold? All the way down there. Oh, thinking gold might sell off. Same with YM. NQ is still moving. I'm gonna set an alert up there. Just don't want to miss that. Set an alert up there if we get that retest. Here goes gold, attempting to break. Let's see if this candle holds right here. If this candle can hold, I don't see why gold wouldn't come up to take this high right here. So that high at 4344.2. ES a little indecisive. Tested that VWAP. Took our hourly lows at 7745.75. Tested the VWAP, seeing rejection. Having a nice push up here, but we're at that point of control right now. Gold looks like it's inverting this gap right here that originally broke the 200 EMA. We'll see if that holds true. It's coming up and testing VWAP right now. Yes, I did, Preston. I did. Literally took all day. So right here. It took all day. Chopped around, just sideways. And then we took the, low day, and I shifted that to break even. And then I was like, all right, let's see what happens. And I kind of just like, was just sitting here waiting. I'm like, all right, we got 5 minutes left. And then it just went straight down. Yeah, it took forever. But I was like, I don't know, we just kept holding this imbalance, right? We just kept holding it. So I was like, I don't know, I'm feeling pretty confident in this. And I'm like, if we, as we were down here just chopping around, I'm like, if price comes all the way back up here to take me out, I'd be like, that'd be absolute insanity. So I was just kind of comfortable in it. Once we took that low day, I was in break even, and I was just going to see what happened at the end of day. And then sure enough, it dumped. And I was like, cool. There we go. I mean, I had a limit order set right at 2-to-1. I wish I just didn't have an order and I was going to eyeball it to take it out at 2-to-1, because I would have probably held it down to at least here. But, that's all hindsight. But yeah, I just kept it open. Yeah. It was, I don't know, it was crazy. It was a crazy trade. Worked out well though. Everything was just, holding below, and everything was bearish. And I knew people were trying to long this within here and just getting chopped up. So I was like, all right, this is filling a bunch of orders. It's going to catch some steam here. And sure enough, it just went. So it's a good trade. And gold. Let's get that. All right. All right. All right, NQ is at VWAP here. YM is in this gap. Let's see if this sells off from here. Okay. All right, I'm back. Did your short hit TP the last 5 minutes? Yes, it did. Preston and I were just talking about that. Literally that last candle. I was in that all day is what it felt like. And then boom, that last candle, it just ripped through that target, which was nice. Look at that push on YM. All right, NQ ooh, and ES. We've been showing resistance up here all like evening though. Right at that 200 EMA. Previous day point of control up here. This is a zone right here. I want to watch what happens. NQ has not tested the 200 EMA once throughout that overnight session, so we'll see what happens here. But this is a key area for me. There's our opening range. So we did break through our opening range here, but we broke through it right into resistance here. So I just can't trust it until we break above this, which is right at the previous day point of control up there. So I want to see what happens. Look at how NQ just slowed down drastically right at that 200 EMA. Just hit a wall. Same with ES. We did take these hourly lows down here, so seeing support, and if this thing rips to the upside, I guess it makes sense. NQ also filled a lot of the bullish imbalance from that move on Tuesday. So NQ filled a lot of this, so we can see here, you know, NQ had a nice pullback. ES, on the other hand, was not nearly as much as NQ. So ES, we barely you know, tapped into any of this, and we still have so much more resting down here. So I don't know if ES wants to catch up with NQ today or what we get, but I guess time will tell. Potential gold right here. 1.4 to 1. Those highs. Just don't like how, you know, we broke the 200 EMA, sure, but right into VWAP. Right into some resistance. See if that YM trade is going well. Got a gap here on NQ that broke above VWAP. See if that acts as support. No gap created on ES on this move. Sorry. No gap created. NQ created a gap right here on the 5 minute. Let's mark out our opening range. Look at YM, it's just moving towards that previous day point of control. I did not take this trade, but displacement off of that 200 EMA and VWAP, leaving behind a bearish gap, taps into the gap. We have a previous day, an untested previous day point of control down here. I mean, that's like a beautiful trade, beautiful target. You know, we'll see if that ends up working out, but let's see if we got to, yeah, we've gotten to a 1-to-1 so far, so not bad. I wouldn't be opposed to taking, let me see. I mean, that's a good reaction. That's a strong hourly candle there. I was saying though, if we can break through this 5 minute bullish gap here, break through to the downside, retest, seeking a continued push potential. keeps on running. Gold had that push up, inverted these bearish gaps, all of them, created its own new bullish gaps above 200 EMA. It could be pushing towards new highs or potentially just take out this high. It's hitting a wall at VWAP, so we'll see what happens. YM created a new bearish gap right here, so, you know, if we were in this trade, we'd have our stop pretty much at break even, just above that bearish gap as of now. Wouldn't want to see this get filled or disrespected, so would want to see that continue to push to the downside. GC still hitting that wall at VWAP. And NQ's at the wall at the 200 EMA here. I know we broke out of our 15-minute opening range, but we're hitting a wall here. So we'll see what happens. Potentially invert this bullish gap, retest, and then at that point we'd be below VWAP, back into the opening range, below 200 EMA. Good short spot potentially, so it's something like, you know, like this. You know, if we get it, probably go initial profits at the opening range midpoint since we, you know, broke that opening range. So ES showing resistance, no gaps on ES. Besides the ones over here. We'll see. We had that initial move, but no, everything's, you know, hitting a wall. There we go. And YM showing, or YM showing resistance. NQ still at the wall. Nothing much has happened here. Besides we're just, you know, nothing is getting past the 200 EMA right now. No not even a candle closure, which tells me that this is pretty bearish here. Got about a minute left on that candle. So what would that short look like? 85 points, give or take, 85. That. All right. That was that 5-minute closure. Indecisive candle right there. Still showing support off of this bullish gap, but showing resistance as well off the 200 EMA. So we're kind of stuck. We're stuck in between this bullish gap and VWAP and the 200 EMA, and it just doesn't know where it wants to go yet. Same on ES, just kind of stuck in between this wall. I mean, we've been showing resistance up here all throughout the overnight session on ES. So we'll see what happens. Starting to see a little bit of a push here. Same on NQ, seeing a push. MYM's moving again. Oh, that was a great trade entry. Oh, I wish I was in that. I just wasn't quick enough. I was trying to calculate my risk size and then I missed it. You know, I don't really trade YM that much, so I'm trying to sit there and be like, all right, what's the dollar value per point on YM and MYM? And I was trying to calculate out what my risk would be if it was all the way up here for 120 points, and then it was too late. And then I went back to YM and we were down here. But great trade strategy, worked. You know, a key level of a previous day point of control down here. We were holding 200 EMA all throughout the overnight session. Eventually, we see this strong spike at open and a break below, creating a bearish gap. Take it short. I mean, we'll see if it works out, but you know, there was some move off of it. So here goes NQ. That five minute bullish gap right here. It's a nice hold. If we're thinking of an orb trade, an NQ 15-minute opening range break with a bullish gap type trade, that worked so far. We'll see if we reject from here, but that's what I'm seeing. Looking short here. On ES, we have these equal highs right here on the 5 minute. We'll see if it takes that out and potentially takes out this high right here. Retest the previous day point of control. A pop, take out all that. Potentially even high of day. And then sell off. The smallest, the faintest of gaps is being created right now. Minuscule. Right here. Above orb, retest of orb, breakthrough 200 EMA, left behind the smallest of bullish gaps. Potential here for a long entry. It's at that previous day point of control now. So there's a pop into the previous day point of control, took out this high here. This high is still alive for now. Gold with no pullback into that gap. Everything's looking pretty bullish right now. Here goes NQs creating a gap here. Previous day point of control up there on NQ. What are we looking at here? $1.3 to 1. What's that risk? 8-point risk on ES. Feeling longs, but also looks like a trap with all the resistance from yesterday. True. That's a 2 to 1 on NQ. Into that previous day point of control, which I don't mind. $92.5. 78.25. .25. Okay, we'll see. Was that 85.50? All right, we're gonna try this NQ long. Yes, would have been tapped in there. What is that? 8 point stop. Points risked 8. 3. So ES is cooking as well right now. MES. 770.75. It's at that 200 EMA. All right, seen that push. Was that 7774.50? Okay. Did not get filled into this NQ trade. But it's running up towards that previous day point of control. It's got some speed with it too. ES is not moving like NQ. All right. longs. I'm in this ES long. NQ long did not get filled. I think I might pull it. But yeah, pulled off that NQ order. We're just gonna do this ES one. Take profit 1. I'm looking for the 7770.75 and then 7774.50. So that's kind of the lay down of it. Just need to see a push here. It's good support off that bullish gap. We'll see if we see continued support. But don't love that. ES is just being so pesky. I mean, that's always kind of the vibe with ES though. Just a slow crawl. Above the previous day point of control, I'd like to see this act as support. If not, I think, you know, we could see a sell-off. Just looking for that high a day to get taken. That's just kind of where we'll take half off. I mean, NQ is moving. Come on, ES. Just lagging behind. Brutal. ES is just lagging. Retest of that gap. NQ is ripping. YM trade is printing again. Whoa. This isn't looking good. Maybe it is to the downside. Maybe that was just a total fake out. You might have called it NDZ. I think that was you that said that looks like a fake out. This got to go now or... And there's the L. Dang. Previous day point of control acts as huge resistance again. I knew that gap was tiny. Dang. Not the candle I want to see. Yeah, you kind of called it there with the fake out. It broke, retested, broke again. Had to give it a stab. Yeah. It's okay. NQ would be at a long zone right here. The original trade idea right there. Which was in that YM trade. Like this just looks so bullish. At least today. Dang, ES, you let me down. I'm just gonna wait a little bit. Just gonna wait a little bit here. See what we get. Right? It's just crazy. Like ES is just doing that, and then NQ is extremely bullish. So I don't know. I had confidence in that. I was like, okay, NQ is moving quickly to the upside here. We could see ES follow suit. High day was right there. I was going to trim 50% and then maybe take another off at those hourly highs. And then, but we just then hit an absolute wall and rejected. That previous day point of control just took it to the downside. There's a small gap there, so I don't know. Maybe that was it. Or maybe this thing just isn't bullish, and maybe we're just continue to sell off. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe we were wrong. Oh, I don't know. NQ looks so bullish. And ES is so bearish. Who's lying? Who do you think is lying? Is NQ lying? Is ES lying? Oh, I wish I was in that YM trade. Look at that. Printed. Huh. It's just as weird. See now, the index I take, ES, gives me no love, and now passed on this NQ trade that I had marked out, and now it's moving. I just feel like that always happens because this NQ trade is moving. Previous day point of control up there, 768.75. Gold moving. see if we break back above here on ES. I might give it another shot. I mean, with NQ moving and showing support. There goes YM. Oh, it's a great trade. Don't tell me. So it turns out we were just wrong for those longs. I mean, look at this. I should have, probably known better. I was saying that all along of just resistance, 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 fake out, break. I don't know. Then once things start moving to the upside, you overthink it. So there it was right there. Fake out. Did anyone catch that short? short 758, targeting bottom of orb. Yeah, solid. The entry was right there at 7759. Yeah, those were definitely, that was the spot. NQ could sell off from here. Crazy reaction there at the orb midpoint. My word. NQ holding this. And longs are not moving. I know, this is crazy. It's at that orb midpoint. I mean, we're below 200 EMA, below VWAP. You still have a lot of support for your shorts. Like it could come up there. That's a heavy resistance area. But this is, finding some strength. Pullback is crazy. Dang, ES, holy smokes. At VWAP now. Dang, that was it. That was the short right there. Oh, how did I miss that? Previous day point of control, test, break back below 200 EMA with a gap, take it short, target those lows. Instead, I was trying to long up here. Yikes. Yeah, once NQ starts going, this thing will dump. And ES has a lot of room to the downside. So there goes that YM trade. Just watching NQ for a break below here. Break below with some gaps. It's showing support though, as of now. Bite exit. I don't know. Why, you just don't like that it's just consolidating at the midpoint? I feel like it's moving nice. Equal low on the 1 minute. I mean, it broke below our midpoint, holding below the midpoint. NQ is holding strong right here. Just interesting. If it wants to see more of a move to the upside here, potentially into yesterday's range. There goes NQ and ES. This is bouncing. Oh. Came back, tested again, showed support again. What's the ES up to? Dang. You just get confused. Dang, ES going again. Let's see. 11 point stop. See if we can break here. Oh, what a shame about that NQ trade. You know, you just get in your own head. Sometimes when you go back and forth and trade the multiple like different indexes, I don't know, I feel like you just get confused sometimes. But this is for sure going to play out now. We were just too little, too late. If ES can break above the 200 EMA here and invert this gap, I wouldn't be opposed to taking a long off that. But I don't want to be hammering longs, and this thing's gonna short 7,600 area. Short stop loss hit, yeah. It's looking, I don't know, looking like a manipulative day. I think NFP's tomorrow. 7 on the 1 hour and 4 9. And that's one of them. Yeah, there's like 100. It's crazy. Which is why you think that this thing would short, but don't know. Don't know what this wants to do. I mean, look at that. Test that 200 EMA again, seeing a rejection right away. All right, NDZ. Look at that. Holy. There's a small bullish gap down here. We'll see if that provides support, but dang. Also, let me look. Testing this bullish gap right here on NQ. It's pretty crazy. Dang, ES let me down. ES is not looking good compared to NQ. We should have been trading NQ longs today. ES has just been not great. I mean, this is just some crazy price action here. Yeah, look at that. Even this gap would have been fine. Ugh. Should have been trading NQ today. So we were stuck with this chaos. mean, look at this all session. 200 EMA has just been heavy resistance. It's been very range bound though. Like heading into today, we were pretty much been trading in a 20-point range. So we took the lower portion of the range and then we came up and got near the higher portion of the range and then we came back down into the range. So I think we might just be chopping around on ES for the rest of the day. NQ has been moving though. Oh, we had that analysis right. Right here, we had it right. 5-minute bullish gap off that 200 EMA and the org break on NQ. We had that analysis up until yesterday's point of control. We had it, but flopped on it. Instead, we traded ES. Still in this trade. ES is just chopping, and it might just chop, and that's all it's gonna do. ES could still sell off though. The divergence between the ES and NQ is crazy right now. Like, look at NQ and then ES. It's, I don't know, that's weird. Weird conditions. Crazy morning. Need ES to dump. Yeah. Jumping back in. At this 5-minute bearish gap right here that broke us below the 200 EMA has been showing some good resistance. Just need NQ to follow suit. All right, I might take a short at 7752.50. 7752.50, stop above this high here. 52.50. 7752.50. Is NQ going to hold this up, though? That's the issue. NQ just took high a day. So we'll see. But ES is just showing resistance. All day up here, we've just been fighting. So we're going to give it a stab. Oh, there it goes. Oh, went without me. It's all right. Went without me. I had that entry at 7752.50. Just kind of this candle opened up, had a little bit of pullback, and then we dumped. Right here, this gap. Initial sell-off. Probably a lot of people had break even right here. Came back up. Took everyone out break even there, and then had that second push. Here goes NQ, fallen, free fallen. Dang. Solid catch, solid hold, Preston. Solid hold. Hang on, I'll be back in like 5 seconds. Okay, we're back. Yeah, solid sell-off. Dang, there it was right there. Previous day point of control. Yeah, once we create this gap, I might enter in right here. Wherever that gap is created. So wherever that gap gets created. I mean, this thing has so much room to the downside. All right, entry at so what the heck? 7747. 7747.50. 7747.50. 7747.50. There we go. Got it. See if we get entry and a short continuation. Throwing it at the midpoint of those bearish gaps that were just created. Also, previous support right here. So it's an entry that I'm comfortable taking right there. We'll see what happens. It's a Hall of Fame game tonight. I didn't even realize that. That's all right. Is it the Hall of Fame game? Yeah. Panthers, Cardinals. Yikes. The NFL is back. Football is back. Want to see how Beck does for the Cardinals. Yeah. Is he playing? Will he play today? It'll be Carson Beck versus Kenny Pickett when Cardinals Panthers open up NFL's exhibition. What a fun matchup that is. Carson Beck makes his NFL debut. And Kenny Pickett starts for his 5th team in 4 years. Goodness. Dang, YM is selling off. not going to get our entry. Gold's selling off. Dang, YM, holy smokes. Oh. Well, what did I just do there? There we go. NQ is just holding at that 200 EMA. Crazy. I know. Yeah. see if we get this pop here up into that gap, and our entry is again at the midpoint at 7747.50. I wish I got entered into this trade up here, but I did not. I don't know if we're going to get entered in, but leaving it on there. Pop into here, take out these highs. See that sell off? NQ inverted this again. Also showed resistance at that gap. Still holding above that 200 EMA though, and VWAP. So I would love to see if a break can happen on NQ. Then I'd look to enter. Dang, YM. Starting to see a break. Trying to. Dang. I'm still bummed about taking those longs. I got lost in the orb. Got lost in the orb, and I was like, oh, broke orb to the upside above our indicators. But we ran right into the previous day point of control, and we just showed so much resistance up here You know, I don't know why I even thought it was a good idea to take a long right up into that resistance and, you know, paid the price, took the loss. And then, you know, sometimes when you take those losses, then I didn't have the mental headspace to, once we broke below with this beautiful bearish gap, to then go short and be like, okay, once we broke below, like with that gap, to go short and then, you know, down to the lows here. So, I mean, there's like, in terms of a textbook setup, it was shorts all day right here. And the test of right there, break below 200 EMA with a gap, just a good entry. I'm glad you guys caught the shorts, but totally missed that. And I was trying to long. I don't know why I was trying to long up there right after taking, you know, this high and previous day point of control. There's so much resistance up there, but, you know, this is how it goes. How it goes. Just now got the invite. TikTok is slow. Yeah. Once again, entry is at 7747.50. This could be another all-day grind of a trade. So I might enter in and then go do other things if we get a bit of a push. Might enter in and then potentially hop off stream. But before, you know, that happens, basis of this trade, fake orb break to the upside, showed resistance, break with a bearish gap there. Another test of our 200 EMA, break and a break of our orb with a gap here. There's two gaps, so 50% of those. Also lines up decently with the midpoint here. Stop above this, you know, quote unquote protected high at 7762.75. 1-to-1 is new lows, so potential to take some partials there at 1-to-1, and then, you know, let the rest ride, see how far it goes, because there's a lot of room to the downside. You gotta look at everyone. Gotta say hi. Got to say hi. You don't want to talk? You no talking? The puppy has returned. To watch the trade entry. Oh, was that it? Did we get filled? Okay. You want off? You want off? There you go. All right. Yep, there you go. Okay. Was that it? Did we get filled in? Yes, we did. All right. Let's see what happens with this. Letting it ride. Could potentially be chasing here, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm bearish. I missed the better entry up there. This kind of second entry. Not the best. You might have to fight some drawdown. Hopefully it just taps and just goes. Planning on taking initial profits at new lows, and then we'll shift that to break even if we get there. But yeah, we're rocking and rolling here. See what we get. We shall see what we get. Decent first push here. Don't know how much I trust it, but here we are. Decent first push. I'm expecting this trade to potentially be a grind for me, just like yesterday. So, but decent first push. We'll see. I agree. Solid wait for that entry. Yeah. I mean, the only way I'd feel comfortable taking a short is at that entry. And if that's the case, I have enough, discipline in my, in psychology to be like, just it's okay. Just wait for it. If it doesn't happen, doesn't happen. I mean, it hit at the tick, which is nice. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Once again, I don't know how much I trust this initial push. If you hear chewing, that is just the puppy chewing a bone right now. I apologize if it's loud and annoying. Oh, wow, look at that. Come on, hit that first take profit. Oh, yikes. Ew. 0.50 from the new lows, and you're gonna bounce on me like that? Come on. Brutal. Just dancing around there. Come on. There's take profit 1. Oh, it double exited me out. Well, that's a shame. Oh, I tried to move my stop to break even, and it exited me out of the trade full there. I took half. I tried to take half at new lows, and it ended up just exiting me out of the trade at full. So that sucks. So I guess that was the trade then. Ugh. What even is the charts at the moment? Well, you guys, I'm all out there. It hit BE twice today. Yeah. Well, I meant to just take initial profits at lows, but it exited full on me, and I think that's my bad. I think I accidentally clicked buy market instead of limit there. So I ended up taking all my contracts off at the lows there. But you know what? That's just a full at 1-to-1. That's fine, I guess. We only took a half risk loss this morning on that initial long, so that was only a half risk loss. So we are ending the day pretty much. I don't know how much more I'm going to trade, but we're ending the day at, up a half risk point. But I think this thing sells a lot more, and that is a shame that I accidentally exited all of my contracts out at the lows there. Dang. What did I do there? I don't even know what I did there to do that. I literally... Tradeovate sometimes flips my settings. Yeah, it flipped my settings back. So on Tradeovate, like limit order, left click, stop order, right click or whatever on your mouse, it flips my settings back all the time. So then when I left click to like put a limit order at break even, it exits the trade full at, wherever price is. Oh, that's so annoying. And it does that all the time. It like flips my settings back. All right, we're save. Do not flip that back on me. Well, great trade though. Anyone? Like that hit to the tick perfectly at the midpoint, and then within that first candle went down to that 1-to-1, and I exited full there, not on purpose. That was on accident. Exited full at the lows. So, I mean, if this comes back up to that midpoint, it would have been a great exit regardless. But glad we got something back. Glad we could catch at least a portion of these shorts, Preston or NDZ, are you guys still in any of your trades? Oh, look at gold. Beautiful entry there too. Yep, still in the short. Respect. 725. I mean, I think this potentially, so if we're looking at this, if we're taking this as our manipulation move right here, we're right around that 2 standard deviation. Stay if it rips down, get on bounce. 725, I like that target. It's kind of right in between your 2 standard deviations. If we're taking this as our manipulation. So if we're taking this as our manipulation up into these highs and our previous day point of control, you could see that move down further. But once again, it said the clicking, my Tradeovate mouse clicks left and right settings were flipped. Oh, that's so annoying. So then when I went to go put that limit order at break even, it just exited full. That's so annoying. Oh. User error right there. User error. This was a great entry on gold right here. Bearish gap on the break of the 200 EMA after testing VWAP and or point of control up here. Sold off, enter. Look at how quick that moved to the lows. That's the strategy right there. That's like the strategy that, you know, that just happens consistently every day on like futures. Of just, you know, these indicators. And I'm just gonna, people got to use indicators more. They don't have to, but I think that they're so helpful. I need a trading bot. I need a trading bot taking these moves. Granted, it doesn't work every time. Like right here on gold didn't work, but you know, New York opened. Where did we open? Right here. NQ, you know, you got a little bit of a push on this right here. NQ could have been a 1-to-1. Let's become quant traders, set up scripts to trade for us. Listen, my buddy, we have like a little Discord together. He's legit like building a bot with like 4 different like strategies and everything. One of the smartest people I know, and he's just like grinding and coding like a bot and running stats on it and everything. Freaking genius. But I got him into trading, so he owes me that. So if he becomes a, you know, a solo AI hedge fund where it's just him and a bot and he's running a hedge fund, he should give me some stake in his company. Listen, if we just become good at Claude, we could probably all code our own bots, right? But that's not as fun, you know. I wrote an MLB Moneyline bot with a 64% win rate. That's pretty solid. I feel like the MLB is the only sport where, like, you know, speculating on games is like actually profitable. Like, I feel like running a bot for the NFL or the NBA, it's like impossible. But like the MLB, I feel like you can actually like build a strategy and like have a bot, you know. And there's so many games, so there's so much opportunity on a day-to-day basis. That's why I feel like professional, try with hockey. Yeah, I feel like hockey's another sport where, I don't know, hockey's very volatile sport though, where like shit can just happen quickly. I feel like baseball's so slow that it's so hard for, you know, huge variances to happen. And then the NBA is just rigged. The refs, it's like always been rigged, forever will be rigged. Dang, I could have had the most elite entry of all time right there. Bullpen is the biggest thing. Books don't price them in, which is crazy. I don't know why they wouldn't. I feel like that's everything in baseball to begin with. That's just weird. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. makes you think there's something else going on. All right, I'm going to 10 more minutes on, and then I'm going to hop off, post some recap videos, and then probably see you guys tomorrow. But 10 more minutes, so we can just hang out, talk about sports gambling if you want to. Is there an EMA for the NFL? Is there a VWAP for the NFL? Can we put that up on a chart? Get some FVGs a little during the NFL season. I just do it for fun when you're bored and sitting. You're bored. It's like tonight. It's a Thursday night Hall of Fame game. But sometimes there's some really shitty games like middle of the season on like Thursdays. I don't know. I find it fun to then on games like that to just mess around with like small bets on the NFL. But that's like kind of the only sport I do. But I have friends that like have full on like algos and spreadsheets on baseball and stuff. But you need a VWAP. You need an NFL VWAP. I guess they're trying to like kind of do that with like Kelce and stuff like that, where I think you can like your contracts are traded back and forth, right? Football's hard because any given Sunday, for sure, and like football's hard because sometimes the spreads are so much, and then like a team, the team that's losing, the other team will have just like a defensive lapse, and then like the spread will get covered in the last like 2 minutes of the game. That's why like that witching hour after the noon games is insane. And if you ever have a 3-leg parlay, there's always one team that just screws it up for you. It's always the West Coast last game of the day too. Never fails. Like that. Have you guys done any of like the prediction market stuff? Predicting on news or whatever? I've yet to even look at that, but I don't know, people talk about it. I don't know if like how it actually works or if it's, even worth it, but it's interesting nonetheless. Now that's super rigged. Yeah. For sure. Everything's rigged. I bet on one of the couples being the top 3. A lot. I don't know. I just love. Can't believe you can bet or speculate on Love Island contestants. That's just insane. I bet you it's like a lot of people do it though. I bet you there's like a lot of contracts that are bought and sold for it. Do your contracts, so if you're like picking someone for Love Island and they're getting close to the end and like they might be the person that wins, does your contract go up in value from when you originally bought it? Like can you cash out? Yes. That's what I'm saying. Cool. It's interesting. feel like TikTok is one. I know I'm on live on TikTok. TikTok, I love you. I feel like they're changing something up on their algorithm. Like they're clearing up a lot of bot accounts, because like I've lost so many to catch mispriced lines. I feel like I've lost a bunch of followers and stuff. I feel like they're just clearing up bot accounts right now. Another book to catch mispriced lines. That's actually, I don't know. That's when you have to code your that's when you have to code your algo to like track on all the different books to find. That's how you make your VWAP. That's how you make your NFL VWAP. Where's our average price? If you're under or over, boom. You can catch the better line somewhere. Someone's got to make that. Pinnacle to essentially, I do that. Oh, that's cool. I don't know, I think that's a great use of it. There's so much data out these days that like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that like there's so much data out there now with everything in sports and everything that like it's like possible to like actually have like a good percentage, you know? My IRA should not have money lines options. That is crazy. But you know, like Robinhood is the king of just, you know, doing some semi shady things. So it's like it makes sense, I guess. But that is crazy that you know you're going on your retirement account and it's like giving you the option to, you know, put money down on the Super Bowl, which is just insane. It's just for an API pull source, every single stat in baseball. That's crazy. Where do you put all that data? Like I assume you have an algo or something. I just want to learn how to like make something like that. I feel like there's so many useful things, and there's like so much use in the stock market, which like, you know, I'm not super into like sports gambling, so I don't really know the like nuances of it, but like the nuances of the financial markets and potentially creating like an algo or a bot that can like scan news sources and scan different things in terms of just like what's happening in the world to give you an analysis on like bullish bearish tendencies or whatever. Like I think that'd be so useful for, you know, people who are active in the market to get like a full on, like, you know, you get a full on like display of the baseball stats for that day, like a full on display of like where the news is at and potentially like bullish bearish sentiment and like based on data points and everything like that. And I think if you woke up and like pulled that up and you had it and it was just easy to see right there on your phone or something, I don't know, that'd be so useful. I just think that the data that it costs to be able to pull all like this news and stuff and get it at like a very timely fashion costs so much money. And that's why, you know, like Bloomberg is, you know, a multi-billion-dollar company and people spend so much money for like all that Bloomberg stuff. It's because they get all that data real time. If you wanted to create a bot that could like somehow summarize all this data and news, put it into one and then give you that data, I feel like it would cost you as the company, you know, creating this bot so much money. But I don't know. It's my genius plan idea. I want to create it so bad, but I'm not a coder. I know you can just get Claude now and kind of do whatever, but I don't know. It's my genius idea that I want to build, especially because news is like kind of important these days, and like one news story can cause a massive shift and move in the market. So anyway, that was me rambling. This looks like it's about to dump, by the way. We're just, after that move, consolidating here. This thing's about to go. What's NQ doing? I don't know. I think in like at some random point, this thing's just gonna dump. So close to my TP. There it goes. There's push. There's push. Come on, that had to hit it. Never mind, we hit. Yeah. Let's go. Good session. I lost my last contract, which sucks, but we still ended the day green, which is all you can care about. Entry was definitely up here though today. 7759. That was the entry. I know, Preston, what'd you get at 7758, right? Somewhere around there. I think you said you double dipped. So you entered somewhere around the 4475s. But yeah. NQ deceiving. NQ was playing games with my brain today. $2 on a plus 600 would hit. Yeah, I feel like that's like, that's in terms of trading, that's like playing a high risk to reward setup that happens, once, whatever, you get that 15-20% of the time. So you'd have to just like be okay taking a bunch of losses on that. 740 retrace to 725. 740 retrace right at the orb low. I like that. Yeah, that was we shouldn't have done that. That was just, the gap was so small, and I was like, it was in my head on the orb. I was like, we broke the orb, we're above our indicators, like, let's give it a stab. That gap was so small though, and it was such a choppy move up. We should have known better on, like, that was just a manipulative move up there, because then instantly after that, you can see this displacement, then it's like, oh, okay, bears are in control. Yeah, it looked long. It was just like, if we look back at it though, like, these candles are so like indecisive and have a bunch of wicks. Like, we should have just, known better. Because then, I don't know, this move right here, that bearish move down was clean, and then we just started to see clean rejections. So that's gonna go down in my journal, at least. It's just this move up on the move that I thought was displacement to go long. That move was just messy. And I just, we shouldn't have been looking for longs. Plus, a move up into the previous day point of control with no real push or break above it also wasn't great. But, is what it is. We got it back and then some. So that's all that matters. Just got to, like, remember that going into, future sessions, which is why I'm going to probably journal that pretty vividly right here, this move and that trade. And then the miss here, that was the real trade right there. But it is what it is. We caught a piece. That's all we can ask for. Dang, Preston, right at your TP. Look at how much this thing's reversing now. It's like right there, perfectly hit it, and now it's going. Good zone, I guess. Oh, is the SPY 200 EMA down there? It is. Sometimes I forget when I'm trading ES to, like, potentially go and look over at the cash. Like, look at SPY. See what the stock is doing. For potential, like, targets and ideas, NQ has yet to form a gap on this move. I guess this was a gap up here, but on that break of 200 EMA, no real gap. All right. I'm closing it down for the day. Gonna post these recaps. But yeah, solid work today. We'll be back tomorrow. Just got to be a little bit more aware of our pre-market tomorrow. Tomorrow for sure. Same time, 9:30 Eastern. We'll be on. Do we have any news tomorrow? Let's see. Do we have any news tomorrow? Unemployment. NABE fireside chat. Consumer credit. Some decent news. All right. Peace. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, 9:30 Eastern. All right. See you guys.